starting. Here we go, here we go. Right, live, there we go. Right, so should be live now. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. Let me just minimise that so I don't see my bloody face. Oh, hello, right, here we go. Dead Man Walking is been Louis the 17th is 17th. See, that's the thing, when it's not, see, when it's Roman numerals instead of just numbers, I always have to think about it. If you just wrote 17, I wouldn't have to think about it. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying. So on Twitter yesterday, Charlie Brown AU, I want to thank him for this. He says, "Good day, mate. I came across these interesting stats from a law firm, right, about divorce, right. My name's Grabber Baby on Twitter. Please give me a follow if you're on there. I'm having fun being a Muslim. It's great fun." So he sent me these stats, and they are quite interesting, right? It's a law firm that's put all the stats for marriage and divorce together, compiled the list so that we can go through them all. Now, last week I was watching, I don't know if you've watched it yourself, but I was watching Sneaky Pete, right, which is on Amazon, right. Brilliant, right? It's really good, definitely a good programme. There's 2 seasons of it. It's well worth a watch, right? It's excellent. I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy in it, he's a fucking great actor as well. He's in a lot of things, but he plays the part of a con man. Sneaky Pete is like a con man, right? And he goes through all these fucking, he knows all the cons, he knows all the tricks. You can't catch this guy out. He knows all the tricks, right? And he's it's like an elaborate schemes to, you know, it's like Ocean's 11 type of shit, you know, it's that kind of stuff. It's like elaborate schemes to con people out their money, right? And I was watching it last week and I was thinking to myself, my God, women have got the biggest con game going. Even though this wasn't in the programme, it just made me think of cons. And it's marriage, right? Marriage is the biggest con game women have got going for them, right? But women have got it so easy, right? They just have to marry, which is why they marry up, right? That's hypergamy, isn't it? They marry up. They marry a man with more status, and then they get, if they've got a child, they get child support, and then they get half his pension, then they get half his future income. I mean, all of these things add up. And of course, there is always an exception to the rule. There are some men, of course, who benefit from this, and you know, they'll marry a richer woman, but the vast majority of cases it's the women that do it, and it's the biggest con going, right? And what's annoying about it all, she was only marrying him for his money, putting in her 5 years so that she can get the big payout. When it dawns on him that that is what has happened to him, there is nothing he can do about it. The Sneaky Pete thing, if you find out that somebody's conned you, at least you can get them charged with a crime. They stole from you. Or if you're a gangster, you can get them killed or whatever. But with women, it's like they get to play this con and then they get to skip away laughing. And there's nothing that anybody can do about it, because the government and the law are on their side. They've been running this con for fucking generations. They've set it up perfectly so that they can just play this con, and they keep getting away with it. And it's infuriating when you watch it, you know. I believe that you shouldn't get married. If you're going to get married, you shouldn't get married unless you've actually been with her for at least a decade, because then there's a better chance. And you see with these statistics anyway that I'm kind of right, you know. But it's just such a fucking con, right? So let's go through these stats, right? We'll see these stats. Wait a minute, oh, my stream is lagging like a feminist sex life. Is it lagging, really? Sorry about that, I don't know. I don't know why it's doing this. Just noticed you're wearing a Danger Mouse t-shirt. Yes, Danger Mouse, that's right, Danger Mouse. One of the best. Right, here we go, here's the page, right? The page is Wilkinson and Finkbeiner. Now, isn't that the most Jewish name you've ever heard in your life? It doesn't even have to... You just hear his name and he doesn't even have to tell you that. You don't need to ask him, you know, do you support Israel? Of course he does. Of course he does. You don't need to ask him, have you ever used the phrase, dear fellow white people? You know he uses the phrase every day, right? It's the most Jewish name I've ever seen in my life, man. Finkbeiner, what a name. So these are the stats, right? Everything you need to know about divorce facts, statistics, and rates. If you spend enough time perusing the internet, you'll find no shortage of studies, statistics, facts about divorce. There seems to be a study looking into almost every possible factor that might affect marriages and lead to divorce. These studies have yielded some extremely interesting and, in some cases, downright shocking information about divorce in both the United States and the rest of the world. Just in case you don't have 20 hours to spare, it may or may not have taken this long to compile this list. We have compiled a nearly exhaustive list with every divorce statistic, study and fact that we could find as we move through 2016 towards 2017, so it's over a year old. But nothing's changed. Here is everything you need to know, and quite possibly more, about divorce. So it starts with divorce rate in the United States. And it's the marriage, the grey line is the marriage rate per 1,000, and the blue line is the divorce rate per 1,000. And as you can see, the divorce rate pretty much correlates here with the marriage rate in half. So from 2000 to this is a 14-year stretch. When the marriage has declined, divorce has declined, but it's always stayed kind of half and half. Like divorce is always half of the amount of marriages, right? And this is just in America. But it's declining, not by much though. I mean, it's just from 2008 here and then a wee climb here, but it's not declined by much, but it is declining. And of course the mozzies will come in and their rates are not declining, and then you're in trouble. But that's a different video. So I divorce pretty much half of divorces end, half of marriages end in divorce, which is just, I mean, people use the parachute analogy, but you can use it for anything. Would you get in a car if there was a 50% chance it would crash, or a train, or a bus, anything? You wouldn't. You just wouldn't do it. As of 2016, both marriage rates and divorce rates in the US are decreasing. The marriage rate in the United States is currently 6.8 per 1,000 total population. The divorce rate in the United States is 3.2 per 1,000 population. As of 2014, the latest year of data from the CDC, with 44 states and DC reporting. This is known as the crude divorce rate. Although useful for describing changes in divorce rates over time, the crude divorce rate does not provide accurate information on the percentage of first marriages that end in divorce. Divorce rate per 1,000 married women. We're into women here. Currently, the divorce rate per 1,000 married women is 16.9. Many experts feel that this is a much more accurate measure of true divorce rate than the crude rate. The divorce rate per 1,000 married women is nearly double that of 1960, but down from the all-time high of 22.6 in the early 80s. Almost 50% of all marriages in the United States will end in divorce or separation. Fucking 50%. It's unbelievable, man. Researchers estimate that 41% of all first marriages end in divorce. That's first marriages. 60% of second marriages end in divorce. What do you think the third marriage is? Third marriage is 73% of all third marriages end in divorce. So the first one, 41, then the second one, 60, third one, 73. People don't get better with practice at this. They actually get worse. The more they get married, the worse they get at marriage. Unless it's like women, or they're talking about women actually, unless it's like women who are gold diggers, basically, which one isn't? And they're marrying a guy, and they put in the time, and then they get their payout, and then when they marry the next guy, they've got it sussed, to perfection. So, it's like, right, I've got it sorted, I know what I'm doing now, I know when to pick the arguments, I know when to fucking leave, I know when to get a lawyer involved, I know what evidence to gather, and then by the third marriage, they're just experts at it, The United States has the 6th highest divorce rate in the world. Here is a chart of the top 20. Now, this doesn't really make sense to me, right? Because here's the United States here. Well, maybe it's per capita or something, but Gibraltar, Belarus, and Russia are the only 3 that are above them. So I don't know why they said 6th highest divorce rate in the world. I don't know why that is. But maybe no, it's not per capita. It's not even per capita either. So I don't know why they said that, because it seems to be 4th. I think that's a mistake. It's the 4th. By the way, it's still up there. It's still quite high. Just pretty shameful, isn't it? You think people would fucking learn, but you'd think men would learn actually, but they just fucking won't. How often divorce takes place in the US? Every 13 seconds there is one divorce in America. That equates to 277 divorces per hour, 6,646 divorces per day, 46,523 divorces per week, and 2 million, almost 2.5 million divorces per year. That means there are 9 divorces in the time it takes for a couple to recite their wedding vows. Fucking hell. More than 554 divorces occur during your typical romantic comedy movie. 1,385 divorces happen during the average wedding reception, and there are 19 million odd divorces over the course of an average first marriage that ends in divorce, which is 8 years. Over a 40-year period, 67% of first marriages terminate. Man. Among all Americans 18 years of age or older, whether they have been married or not, 25% have gone through a marital split. Now I'm guessing that since they've not been married, I guess that means that their parents have split up or something. That's why they're part of the marital split. I don't know, because it looks like that doesn't make sense. Whether they've been married or not, they went through a marital split. So I'm guessing it's because of their parents. 15% of adult women in the United States are divorced or separated today, compared with less than 1% in 1920. 15%, man. 15% of women in America are divorced or separated. The average first marriage that ends in divorce lasts about 8 years. Median duration of first marriages that end in divorce, for males it's 7.8, for females it's 7.9. The duration of second marriages, for males 7.3, females 6.8. You see, the females are getting better at it. You know, they improve with how to fuck up a marriage but still benefit from it as quickly as possible so they can get another marriage in time. 21. People wait an average of 3 years after a divorce to remarry, if they remarry at all. In 2011, only 29 out of every 1,000 of divorced or widowed women remarried. Who is getting divorced when and why? Right, so I think we know, but here are the answers. The average age for couples going through their first divorce is 30 years old. So they're getting married too young. There's no way they know the partner for 10. There's no way they've been with a partner for 10 years then, right? I mean, come on. 60% of all divorces involve individuals aged 25 to 39. It seems that the problem here is age, is when they're getting married. Not necessarily age. I think time spent with the person. Wives are the ones who most often file for divorce. Well, of course, because they benefit from it. 66% on average. That figure has soared to nearly 75% in some years. Now, we know why that is, because they benefit from a divorce. But feminists will tell you the reason it's 66%, the reason women initiate divorce more often, is because marriage is a prison and they're fearing for their lives and they have to escape or their husbands will kill them, because men kill women when they're refused sex or something, and they'll mention incels as fucking usual. Professions with the highest divorce rate: dancers, bartenders, massage therapists, gaming cage workers, gaming service workers, food and tobacco machine operators, telephone operators, textile machine operators, nurses, home care aides. All jobs that you don't exactly need, like a college education for, you know what I mean? Dancers and bartenders, obviously you need a gender studies degree for them. Professions with the lowest divorce rate: medical scientists, other scientists, legislators, audiologists, dentists, farmers, podiatrists, clergy, optometrists and agricultural engineers. The ones with money. It seems odd. You'd think they'd get divorced more, but when you look at the chart here, or the graph here, you see that these are like the top paying jobs out of the lot more often, you know. So this bitch here, she's went through 3 of these guys. This twat up here, she's went through 3 of these fucking guys. They've only had 1 divorce, but she's had fucking 3. Cause she's pocketing from it, you see. That's how it works. Bonus: law enforcement and police divorce rate is 14, while corrections workers is 21. For instance, the groups with the most prolific experience of marriage ending in divorce are downscale adults making less than 20 grand annually, baby boomers, those aligned with a non-Christian faith, African Americans, and people who consider themselves to be liberal on social and political matters. Among the population segments with the lowest likelihood of having been divorced subsequent to marriage are Catholics, evangelicals, upscale adults, the ones who make 75 grand annually, Asians, and those who deem themselves to be conservative on social and political matters. Divorce rate by, no, I think that's supposed to be divorce rate for women by ethnicity chart. So this is women again. So you see the black lines at the top there. That's black women 40 to 49 and black women from 35 to 39 are more likely to be divorced. The ones less likely to be divorced are Asians. Asians between 30 and 34 years. That's your safest bet. Get married to an Asian between 30 and 34 years. That's your safest bet of avoiding a divorce. Fucking hell. The military. According to the Pentagon, the military divorce rate is 3.4% in the 2013 fiscal year. However, the rate was significantly higher in military women at 7.2%. I wonder why that is. I wonder why a woman in the military is twice as likely to get divorced as a man. I wonder why that is. I mean, could it be that she's working with loads of men and the husband is thinking, and she's more likely to cheat? I don't know. The divorce rate among enlisted troops was 3.8. Among officers, the divorce rate was 1.9. The Air Force has the highest divorce rate among enlisted troops of any military branch at 4.3%. The divorce rate among US Navy SEALs is over 90%. Fucking hell. So if you're a Navy SEAL, don't get married. Over 90%. Unreal. The divorce rate among people 50 and older has doubled in the past 20 years according to research by Bowling Green State University. The divorce rate among couples where one spouse is in jail or prison for 1 year or more is 80% for men and close to 100% for women, and I wonder why that is as well. So a woman goes to prison for a year or more is more likely to get divorced than a man who goes to prison. I mean, I don't know the reason behind that. That's a strange one, isn't it? Same-sex divorce statistics. About 1% of married same-sex couples get divorced each year. Although they've not been doing it long enough, really, have they? You know what I mean? They've not been doing it long enough to know that, you know, to really count them, you know. Give it another few decades and then count them. While about 2% of married straight couples divorce. According to figures from the UK's Office of National Statistics, lesbian couples are nearly twice as likely to end a marriage or civil union than gay male couples are. Okay. Women, they're just quitters. They're just quitters. They can't fight for something. They just have to quit and take the fucking easy way out. In the United States, the divorce rate is 3.1 per 1,000 people that allow same-sex marriage. In the States, and 3.9 in states that prohibit it. When do people divorce? The average length of a marriage that ends in divorce is 8 years. January is considered divorce month. People start looking for information before the new year starts, but they can't do much until the attorneys are back in the office. January the 12th to the 16th seems to be the magic week for filings. I wonder if that applies across the board. Why they're divorcing in the United States. Lack of commitment is the most common reason given by divorcing couples according to a recent national survey. Here are the reasons given and their percentages. By the way, I don't know what lack of commitment means. I don't know what that means, because surely if they've agreed to marry each other, isn't that a commitment in itself? But it's not infidelity, by the way, because that's on the list as well. So I don't know what a lack of commitment means. It sounds like female gobbledygook. That you know, it's like they obviously want the man's money. So how do I get divorced? What reason can I give? You don't need to give a reason. There's no fault divorce. Just divorce his ass and take his money. No, I want to give a reason. Lack of commitment. What does that mean? Doesn't matter what it means. I just want his fucking money. Give me the fucking money. Lack of commitment. Argue too much. Well, maybe you should learn to shut up. Infidelity. Married too young. That's the one for me. I think it causes the most. That's my personal opinion. Unrealistic expectations. Women babble. This is from Cosmopolitan. You know. Lack of equality in the relationship. Feminists. Lack of preparation for marriage. Too young. Abuse. That'll be women abusing men because they're quite abusive. Respondents often cited more than one reason, therefore the percentages add up to more than 100%. What makes people more or less likely to divorce? Your age. 48% of those who marry before the age of 18 are likely to divorce within 10 years, compared to 25% of those who marry after the age of 25. So I mean, what about over the age of 30? You know, I think that's the number. Over the age of 30, I think it's more likely to last. If you've known her long enough. 60% of couples married between the age of 20 and 25 will end in divorce. What the hell? Those who wait to marry until they're over 25 are 24% less likely to get divorced. If you or your partner have been married before, if you and your partner have previous marriages, you are 90% more likely to get divorced than if this had been the first marriage for both of you. Fuck me, man. Bloody hell. If a person has strong religious beliefs, the risk of divorce is 14% less, and having no religious affiliation makes you 14% more likely to get divorced. If you're an evangelical Christian adult who has been married, there's a 26% likelihood that you've been divorced, compared to a 28% chance for Catholics and a 38% chance for non-Christians. Man, they've really fucking stacked these stats together, haven't they, man? According to Dr. Jennifer Glass, one of the strongest factors predicting divorce rates per 1,000 married couples is the concentration of conservative or evangelical Protestants in that country. The correlation can be seen on this figure. Insert divorce counties image. They forgot to do that. they forgot to do that. You were supposed to insert the fucking image. High school dropouts are 13% more likely to get divorced. Individuals who have attended college have a 13% lower risk of divorce. Those with below average IQs are 50% more likely to be divorced than those with above average IQs. Racist. Political affiliation and its impact on divorce. Conservative 28%, liberal 37%, moderate 33%. Don't marry a liberal, but you should have already known that anyway. Come on, man. If you live in a red state, you are 27% more likely to get divorced than if you live in a blue state. Wow, I just said don't marry a liberal. Maybe don't marry a liberal in a red state. That's the don't marry a liberal in a red state. I'm surprised at that actually, because I'm more likely to be religious in the Republican states. But if you lived with your partner before you got married, 60% of cohabiting couples will eventually marry. However, living together prior to marriage can increase the chance of getting divorced by as much as 40%, which blows my theory out of the water, doesn't it? If you're a female serial cohabitor, a woman who has lived with more than one partner before your first marriage, slag, then you're 40% more likely to get divorced than women who have never done so. Just mad, innit? According to this study, at least, if you met your spouse in high school, college or grad school, you're 41% less likely to get divorced. Really? The other major difference was couples who met in bars were 24% more likely to get divorced than expected. Your sexual history. Women who lost their virginity as a teenager are more than twice as likely to get a divorce in the first 5 years of marriage than women who waited until age 18 or older. So that's no women in Britain then. A 2011 study at the University of Iowa found that for both men and women, the loss of virginity before age 18 was correlated with a greater number of occurrences of divorce within the first 10 years of marriage. When compared to women who began sexual activity in their early 20s, where are these women? Girls who initiated sexual activity at ages 13 or 14 were less than half as likely to be in stable marriages in their 30s. In this study, a stable marriage was defined as a marriage of over 5 years. I think it has to be more than 5 years to count as a stable marriage, for God's sake. I mean, they're saying in this that the rate of the first divorce is 8 years. So I wouldn't say 5 years is a stable marriage when most first divorces take part after 8 years, you know. Women with 6 or more premarital sexual partners, slags, are almost 3 times less likely to be in a stable marriage. Well, I'm not surprised. According to the CDC, the 5 states with the highest divorce rates are Nevada, West Virginia, Arkansas, Idaho and Oklahoma. The 5 states with the lowest divorce rates are Iowa, Illinois, Massachusetts, North Dakota and Pennsylvania. Are you impressed that I pronounced those correctly? I bet you are. Illinois and Arkansas, come on man, foreigners can't pronounce that shit. Arkansas has the highest rate of individuals married 3 or more times. Men and women in Arkansas are twice as likely to be married 3 or more times than the national average. Man. Your habits, your marriage. The risk of divorce was said to be almost doubled, 97% higher, when the mother went out to work but her husband made a minimal contribution to housework and childcare. In 2011, Facebook was cited as a major contributor to a third of divorce petitions examined by one UK study. Wow. In a study by the University of Rochester, researchers said that watching romantic movies and having conversation around it helps in lowering the divorce rate from 24 to 11% in marriages of 3 years. I'm sorry, I'd rather get divorced than watch romantic movies. Pornography addiction was cited as a factor in 56% of divorces according to a recent study. Those pervy women, why are they always watching porn? Bloody incel women. If your parents are happily married, your risk of divorce decreases by 14%. Oh, I believe that. If your parents married others after divorcing, you're 91% more likely to get divorced. Fucking hell, man. That's unreal, isn't it, how that affects people. According to Nicholas Wolfinger, in Understanding the Divorce Cycle, the risk of divorce is 50% higher when one spouse comes from a divorced home and 200% higher when both partners do. See, that's one of the things I've always said about women. If you meet a woman and you want to know, you want to move in with her or anything like that, or get serious, you need to know if she gets on with her dad. If she doesn't get on with her dad, get the fuck out of there unless he's dead, right? Just get out of there. In addition, children of divorce are 50% more likely to marry another oh, hang on, someone at my door. I'll be back in a second. I'm back. I was expecting this, that's why I answered the fucking door. Oh, right, where was I? Sorry for disappearing there. No, it wasn't the Rozzers. I knew it was, that's why I answered it, 'cause I was expecting it. Aye, that's right. And children of divorce are 50% more likely to marry another child of divorce. Man. Certain studies have shown that daughters of divorced parents have a 60% higher divorce rate in marriages than children of non-divorced parents, while sons have a 35% higher rate. If you have kids or not, the divorce rate for couples with children is as much as 40% lower than for those without children, which makes sense because there's more reason to fight to keep it alive, right, if there's children involved. Half of all children in the United States will witness the ending of a parent's marriage. How sad is that sentence? How fucking sad is that sentence? Of this half, close to 50% will also see the breakup of a parent's second marriage. Oh, for fuck's sake. I mean, doing it once, okay. Why would you do it twice? Why would you get married more than once? I mean, I understand why women would get married more than once. Cha-ching. But I don't understand why a man would get married more than once. It just doesn't make any sense. If you have twins or triplets, your marriage is 17% more likely to end in divorce than if your children are not multiples. That's bizarre. If you have a daughter, you're nearly 5% more likely to divorce than if you have a son. What? I don't even know how that would... It's only 5%, but I don't even know how that would make a difference. When there are as many as 3 daughters, that difference spiked to 10%. I wonder why. Fathers are significantly, 3%, less likely to be living with their children if they have daughters versus sons. Having a baby before marriage can increase risk of divorce by 24%. An annual income of over 50 grand can decrease risk of divorce by as much as 30% versus those with an income of under 25 grand. Feeling that one spouse spent money foolishly increased the likelihood of divorce 45% for both men and women. That's women's babble, isn't it? Because they don't think the man spends the money properly. Couples that argue about finances at least once a week are 30 times more likely to get divorced. The same study also found that couples with no assets at the beginning of a 3-year period are 70% more likely to divorce by the end of that period than couples with 10 grand in assets. Addiction, mental illness and divorce. So addiction, feminism and divorce. Couples are an astonishing 76 to 95% more likely to get divorced if only one of them smokes. The amount increases when the wife is the partner with the habit. What the hell? While couples who both smoke have it a bit better, a 1998 study found they are still 53% more likely than non-smoking couples to end their marriage. Smoking is more like... That's bizarre, man. Each litre of alcohol consumer raises the... each litre of alcohol consumed, surely, raises the chance of divorce by 20%. No, wait a minute. Each litre of alcohol raises the chance of divorce by 20%. Factor in that the average American drinks 9.4 litres of alcohol per year, raising the divorce likelihood by 188%. According to... Well, it's one of the reasons people divorced was they argue too much. Maybe that's got something to do with it. According to a 9-year study by the University of Buffalo, couples who have similar heavy drinking patterns, either both are heavy drinkers or both are not, are more likely to stay together. Makes sense. However, if one spouse is a heavy drinker and the other is not, they are 60% more likely to get divorced. That makes sense. A multinational study of mental disorders, marriage and divorce, published in 2011, found that a sample of 18 mental disorders all increased the likelihood of divorce, ranging from a 20% increase to an 80% increase in the divorce rate. Addictions and major depression were the highest factors, with PTSD also significant. A recent study of divorce petitions found that nearly 15% of them cited video game addiction as a major factor in the decision to get divorced. Fucking women. Always playing their fucking video games, man. Never get them off that Candy Crush. Divorce, child support and child custody. 43% of children in the United States are being raised without their fathers. That's just... You ever argue with a twat online and they're just a massive twat? That's why. When the parents are happily married, the risk of divorce of their children decreases by 14%. 90% of divorced mothers have custody of their children. 90% have custody of their children. That's why they do it, because they are rewarded with the children and the assets and the future income. That's why they do it. It's the biggest con going. Over 79% of custodial mothers receive a child support award, while just under 30% of custodial fathers receive one. 65% of divorced mothers receive no child support. 65%. Oh, maybe they get alimony though, or maybe. Oh no, that I was going to say maybe they don't have kids, but they're mothers. So how does that? Wait a minute, how does that make sense? 90% have custody of their children. 65% receive no child support. But it says over 79% of custodial mothers receive a child support award. How do those two make sense? 65% of divorced mothers, or maybe because the children are grown up. Maybe I don't know how those two can make sense though. Over 46% of non-custodial mothers completely default on child support, compared to only 27% of non-custodial fathers. Friends and relatives' impact on divorce. If a close friend gets divorced, you are 147% more likely to become divorced, and 33% more likely if a friend of a friend is divorced. What the fuck? Studies at the University of California and Brown University cite that when a married person works with someone who is in the process of divorcing, it increases the married person's chances of divorce by 75%. I don't even know how that has an effect. These same studies also found that people with divorced sisters or brothers are 22% more likely to get divorced than if siblings are not divorced. In a large-scale Canadian survey, 19% of men reported a significant drop in social support post-divorce. The average total cost of divorce in the United States is 15 grand. Families with children that were not poor before the divorce see the income drop as much as 50%. Almost 50% of the parents with children that are going through a divorce move into poverty after the divorce. I'm not sure about that. I don't like that word poverty. It always annoys me. You know, poverty to me means you're homeless and you're starving. You know, and you don't have any like clothes to and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? That's poverty. Poverty to these countries, like I don't have the latest iPhone. You know, I hate when they use that word. They always use it wrong, so I don't know how it's being used here, but I don't believe it. 27% of recently divorced women had less than 25 grand in annual household income, compared with 17% of recently divorced men. 60% of people under poverty guidelines are divorced women and children. Again, what's the poverty guideline? You know, what does that mean? You know, you've only got 2 Versace suits. I don't know what that means. The toll a divorce takes. A new study entitled Divorce and Death shows that broken marriages can kill at the same rate as smoking cigarettes. Indications that the risk of dying is a full 23% higher among divorcees than married people. One researcher determined that a single divorce costs state and federal governments about 30 grand, based on such things as the higher use of food stamps and public housing, as well as increased bankruptcies and juvenile delinquency. The nation's 1.4 million divorces in 2002 are estimated to have cost the taxpayer more than $30 billion. What the hell? The nation's 1.4 million divorces in that year. But earlier on they said Earlier on they said there was something like 19. No, that's on average. 19 million a year or something. No, no. Oh no, it was 19 million in the space of 8 years. Alright, okay. An article in the New York Times stated that of couples who seek marriage counselling, 38% end up divorced just 2 years later. Man. Bonus, the 5 most expensive divorces of all time. Oh my god. Harold and Sue Ann Ham, I don't know who that is, but 5.3 billion. Man. Rupert and Anna Murdoch, 1.7 billion. Bernie and Slavica Eccleston, 1.2 billion. Adnan Khashoggi, I'm fucking terrible at the pronunciations now, aren't I? 875 million. Craig and Wendy McCaw, 460 million. Most expensive celebrity divorcees, Mel and Robin Gibson, 425 million. Fucking no wonder he was fucking swearing down the phone. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver, 250 to 300 million. Michael and Juanita Jordan, 168 million. I mean, this guy is a legend and she still divorced him. It's so obvious that it's a hustle. It's a fucking hustle, and women keep getting away with this shit, and the only way to stop it is for men to wake up. The only way to stop it was that he said click the child support link. Where was the child support link? Was it? No, that's the office statistics. No, wait a minute. It would have been down here near the bottom here, right? No, child support link. I don't see a link, man. No, just the biggest divorces. Is there something else that I missed? Child support. Oh, there we go. Child support link. Okay, let's see. Let's see what this says. Child support is a highly contested, sometimes difficult issue to litigate in the San Diego family law courts. While the state of California has issued legislation to try and make child support calculations easier and more fair by creating guidelines, formula parties to divorce, legal separation and paternity cases still often have difficulty agreeing to terms of child support order. Parents' income matters. Can the court make me pay child support for an adult child? Once a child reaches the age of majority, which is 18, or 19 if the child is still living at home and attending high school. Fucking hell, it's 16 here. Fucking 19. Grow up. There is no further obligation to pay child support. Once the child graduates, if between ages of 18 and 19 years old, the child support obligation ends. So security for future payment. How do I go about getting child support? That's the women's section. Each parent's gross income, how is it calculated? One parent's ability to earn, which is, that's shite. See, that ability to earn, I think that's crap, because, you know, they take a guy who, I don't know, say he earns $1 an hour, and then they go, right, okay, so you can earn $200 a week. Well, I can't work 200 hours a week. Oh yes, you can. Done. $200 a week it is. You know, that shouldn't. They should take that away, the ability to earn, because that's where they hack the men at the fucking legs, you know, and have them out working 60 fucking 70 hours a week just to pay the child support. Each party's tax filing status, the number of minor children, the amount of time each parent spends physically caring for the children, which the courts will determine is mostly the mum anyway, so she doesn't have to pay as much, as a fixed percentage for the non-custodial parent. Health insurance, mandatory union dues, deductible interest and property taxes, a new spouse's income, more on this below. Alright, Jesus. So your new spouse comes into it as well? Fucking hell. Oh, it's just depressing, isn't it? It's fucking depressing, man, but it's the biggest con going, and just how do we stop men doing it? I mean, look at like Bill Burr, you know, he knows that marriage is a sham. He knows that it's a con, and yet he still get married. What is going on there? What is going on? Is anybody going to be surprised if he's divorced in 7 years' time? I'm not going to be surprised. Anyway, I'll leave it there for now. I wanted to cover that because I thought it was quite interesting, all these stats. A lot to take in, but there's no doubt about it. It's in women's favour, the whole marriage game. Even lesbian couples are more likely to get divorced than gay male couples. You know, I mean, it says it all. Women are quitters because they benefit from quitting. and men keep falling for it. Oh, it's the biggest scam going. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for the comments, and I will stop the stream in 3, 2, 1. But it's not declined by much, but it is declining. And of course the muzzies will come in and their rates are not declining, and then you're in trouble, but that's a different video. So I divorce pretty much half of divorces end, half of marriages end in divorce, which is just, I mean, people use the parachute analogy, but you can use it for anything. Would you get in a car if there was a 50% chance it would crash, or a train or a bus, anything? You wouldn't. You just wouldn't do it. As of 2016, both marriage rates and divorce rates in the US are decreasing. The marriage rate in the United States is currently 6.8 per 1,000 total population. The divorce rate in the United States is 3.2 per 1,000 population. As of 2014, the latest year of data from the CDC, with 44 states and DC reporting. This is known as the crude divorce rate. Although useful for describing changes in divorce rates over time, the crude divorce rate does not provide accurate information on the percentage of first marriages that end in divorce. Divorce rate per 1,000 married women. We're into women here. Currently, the divorce rate per 1,000 married women is 16.9. Many experts feel that this is a much more accurate measure of true divorce rate than the crude rate. The divorce rate per 1,000 married women is nearly double that of 1960, but down from the all-time high of 22.6 in the early 80s. Almost 50% of all marriages in the United States will end in divorce or separation. Fucking 50%. It's unbelievable, man. Researchers estimate that 41% of all first marriages end in divorce. That's first marriages. 60% of second marriages end in divorce. What do you think the third marriage is? Third marriage is 73% of all third marriages end in divorce. So the first one, 41, then the second one, 60, third one, 73. People don't get better with practice at this. They actually get worse. The more they get married, the worse they get at marriage. Unless it's like women, or they're talking about women actually, unless it's like women who are gold diggers, basically, which one isn't? And they're marrying a guy, and they put in the time, and then they get their payout, and then when they marry the next guy, they've got it sussed, to perfection. So, it's like, right, I've got it sorted, I know what I'm doing now, I know when to pick the arguments, I know when to fucking leave, I know when to get a lawyer involved, I know what evidence to gather, and then by the third marriage, they're just experts at it, The United States has the 6th highest divorce rate in the world. Here is a chart of the top 20. Now, this doesn't really make sense to me, right? Because here's the United States here. Well, maybe it's per capita or something, but Gibraltar, Belarus, and Russia are the only 3 that are above them. So I don't know why they said 6th highest divorce rate in the world. I don't know why that is. But maybe, no, it's not per capita. It's not even per capita either. So I don't know why they said that, because it seems to be 4th. I think that's a mistake. It's the 4th. By the way, it's still up there. It's still quite high. Just pretty shameful, isn't it? You think people would fucking learn, but you'd think men would learn actually, but they just fucking won't. How often divorce takes place in the US? Every 13 seconds there is one divorce in America. That equates to 277 divorces per hour, 6,646 divorces per day, 46,523 divorces per week, and 2 million, almost 2.5 million divorces per year. That means there are 9 divorces in the time it takes for a couple to recite their wedding vows. Fucking hell. More than 554 divorces occur during your typical romantic comedy movie. 1,385 divorces happen during the average wedding reception, and there are 19 million odd divorces over the course of an average first marriage that ends in divorce, which is 8 years. Over a 40-year period, 67% of first marriages terminate. Man. Among all Americans 18 years of age or older, whether they have been married or not, 25% have gone through a marital split. Now I'm guessing that since they've not been married, I guess that means that their parents have split up or something. That's why they're part of the marital split. I don't know, because it looks like that doesn't make sense. Whether they've been married or not, they went through a marital split. So I'm guessing it's because of their parents. 15% of adult women in the United States are divorced or separated today, compared with less than 1% in 1920. 15%, man. 15% of women in America are divorced or separated. The average first marriage that ends in divorce lasts about 8 years. Median duration of first marriages that end in divorce, for males it's 7.8, for females it's 7.9. The duration of second marriages, for males 7.3, females 6.8. You see, the females are getting better at it. You know, they improve with how to fuck up a marriage but still benefit from it as quickly as possible, so they can get another marriage in time. 21. People wait an average of 3 years after a divorce to remarry, if they remarry at all. In 2011, only 29 out of every 1,000 of divorced or widowed women remarried. Who is getting divorced when and why? Right, so I think we know, but here are the answers. The average age for couples going through their first divorce is 30 years old. So they're getting married too young. There's no way they know their partner for 10. There's no way they've been with a partner for 10 years. Then, right? I mean, come on. 60% of all divorces involve individuals aged 25 to 39. It seems that the problem here is age, is when they're getting married. Not necessarily age. I think time spent with the person. Wives are the ones who most often file for divorce. Well, of course, because they benefit from it. 66% on average. That figure has soared to nearly 75% in some years. Now, we know why that is, because they benefit from a divorce. But feminists will tell you the reason it's 66%, the reason women initiate divorce more often, is because marriage is a prison and they're fearing for their lives and they have to escape, or their husbands will kill them, because men kill women when they're refused sex or something, and they'll mention incels as fucking usual. Professions with the highest divorce rate: dancers, bartenders, massage therapists, gaming cage workers, gaming service workers, food and tobacco machine operators, telephone operators, textile machine operators, nurses, home care aides. All jobs that you don't exactly need, like a college education for, you know what I mean? Dancers and bartenders, obviously you need a gender studies degree for them. Professions with the lowest divorce rate: medical scientists, other scientists, legislators, audiologists, dentists, farmers, podiatrists, clergy, optometrists and agricultural engineers. The ones with money, it seems odd. You'd think they'd get divorced more, but when you look at the chart here, or the graph here, you see that these are like the top paying jobs out of the lot more often, So this bitch here, she's went through 3 of these guys. This twat up here, she's went through 3 of these fucking guys. They've only had 1 divorce, but she's had fucking 3. Because she's pocketing from it, you see? That's how it works. Bonus: law enforcement and police divorce rate is 14, while corrections workers is 21. For instance, the groups with the most prolific experience of marriage ending in divorce are downscale adults making less than 20 grand annually, baby boomers, those aligned with a non-Christian faith, African Americans, and people who consider themselves to be liberal on social and political matters. Among the population segments with the lowest likelihood of having been divorced subsequent to marriage are Catholics, evangelicals, upscale adults, the ones who make 75 grand annually, Asians, and those who deem themselves to be conservative on social and political matters. Divorce rate divorce rate for women by ethnicity chart. So this is women again. So you see the black lines at the top there. That's black women 40 to 49, and black women from 35 to 39 are more likely to be divorced. The ones less likely to be divorced are Asians. Between 30 and 34 years. That's your safest bet. Get married to an Asian between 30 and 34 years. That's your safest bet of avoiding a divorce. Fucking hell. The military. According to the Pentagon, the military divorce rate is 3.4% in the 2013 fiscal year. However, the rate was significantly higher in military women at 7.2%. I wonder why that is. I wonder why a woman in the military is twice as likely to get divorced as a man. I wonder why that is. I mean, could it be that she's working with loads of men and the husband is thinking, and she's more likely to cheat? I don't know. The divorce rate among enlisted troops was 3.8. Among officers, the divorce rate was 1.9. The Air Force has the highest divorce rate among enlisted troops of any military branch at 4.3%. The divorce rate among US Navy SEALs is over 90%. Fucking hell. So if you're a Navy SEAL, don't get married. If you find out that somebody's conned you, at least you can get them charged with a crime they stole from you. Or if you're a gangster, you can get them killed or whatever. But with women, it's like they get to play this con and then they get to skip away laughing, and there's nothing that anybody can do about it because the government and the law are on their side. They've been running this con for fucking generations. They've set it up perfectly so that they can just play this con, and they keep getting away with it, and it's infuriating when you watch it, you know. I believe that you shouldn't get married. If you're going to get married, you shouldn't get married unless you've actually been with her for at least a decade, because then there's a better chance, and you see with these statistics anyway that I'm kind of right. You know, but it's just such a fucking con, right? So let's go through these stats, right? We'll see these stats. One minute. Oh, my stream is lagging like a feminist sex life. Is it lagging really? Sorry about that. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why it's doing this. Just noticed you're wearing a Danger Mouse t-shirt. Yes, Danger Mouse. That's right, Danger Mouse. One of the best. Right, here we go. Here's the page. Right, the page is Wilkinson and Finkbeiner. Now, isn't that the most Jewish name you've ever heard in your life? It doesn't even have to. You just hear his name, and he doesn't even have to tell you that. You don't need to ask him, you know, do you support Israel? Of course he does. Of course he does. You don't need to ask him, have you ever used the phrase, dear fellow white people? You know he uses the phrase every day, right? It's the most Jewish name I've ever seen in my life, man. Finkbeiner, what a name. So these are the stats, right? Everything you need to know about divorce facts, statistics and rates. If you spend enough time perusing the internet, you'll find no shortage of studies, statistics, facts about divorce. There seems to be a study looking into almost every possible factor that might affect marriages and lead to divorce. These studies have yielded some extremely interesting and, in some cases, downright shocking information about divorce in both the United States and the rest of the world. Just in case you don't have 20 hours to spare, it may or may not have taken this long to compile this list. We have compiled a nearly exhaustive list with every divorce statistic, study and fact that we could find as we move through 2016 towards 2017, so it's over a year old. But nothing's changed. Here is everything you need to know, and quite possibly more about divorce. So it starts with divorce rate in the United States. And it's the marriage, the grey line is the marriage rate per 1,000, and the blue line is the divorce rate per 1,000. And as you can see, the divorce rate pretty much correlates here with the marriage rate in half. So from 2000 to this is a 14-year stretch. When the marriage has declined, divorce has declined, but it's always stayed kind of half and half. Like divorce is always half of the amount of marriages, right? And this is just in America. But it's declining, not by much though. I mean, there's just from 2008 here, and then a wee climb here. Starting, here we go. Right, live, there we go. Right, so should be live now. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. Let me just minimise that so I don't see my bloody face. Oh, hello, right, here we go. Dead Man Walking is been Louis the 17th is 17th. See, that's the thing, when it's when it's Roman numerals instead of just numbers, I always have to think about it. If you just wrote 17, I wouldn't have to think about it. I'm not blaming you, I'm just saying. So on Twitter yesterday, Charlie Brown AU, I want to thank him for this. He says, "Good day, mate. I came across these interesting stats from a law firm, right, about divorce, right. My name's Grabber Baby on Twitter. Please give me a follow if you're on there. I'm having fun being a Muslim. It's great fun." So he sent me these stats, and they are quite interesting, right? It's a law firm that's put all the stats for marriage and divorce together, compiled the list so that we can go through them all. Now, last week I was watching, I don't know if you've watched it yourself, but I was watching Sneaky Pete, right, which is on Amazon, right. Brilliant, right. It's really good, definitely a good programme. There's 2 seasons of it. It's well worth a watch, right. It's excellent. And I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy in it, he's a fucking great actor as well. He's in a lot of things, but he plays the part of a con man. Sneaky Pete is like a con man, right? And he goes through all these fucking. He knows all the cons. He knows all the tricks. You can't catch this guy out. He knows all the tricks, right? And he's it's like an elaborate schemes to, you know, it's like Ocean's 11 type of shit, you know, it's that kind of stuff. It's like elaborate schemes to con people out of their money, right? And I was watching it last week and I was thinking to myself, my God, women have got the biggest con game going. Even though this wasn't in the programme, it just made me think of cons. And it's marriage, right? Marriage is the biggest con game women have got going for them, right? But women have got it so easy, right? They just have to marry, which is why they marry up, right? It's hypergamy, isn't it? They marry up. They marry a man with more status and then they get, if they've got a child, they get child support, and then they get half his pension, then they get half his future income. I mean, all of these things add up. And of course, there is always an exception to the rule. There are some men, of course, who benefit from this, and you know, they'll marry a richer woman, but the vast majority of cases it's the women that do it, and it's the biggest con going, right? And what's annoying about it all, she was only marrying him for his money, putting in her 5 years so that she can get the big payout. When it dawns on him that that is what has happened to him, there is nothing he can do about it. The Sneaky Pete thing,